A major issue affecting many Americans during the coronavirus crisis is a shortage of food. The demand for food banks is surging as many are being overrun, causing a lack of supplies and volunteers. Feeding South Florida, a domestic hunger relief organization for the Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade areas, is doing all it can to help during this time. Executive Vice President of Feeding South Florida, Sari Vatsky, is here to discuss. Sari, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Of course. So let's talk about your organization. How are they responding to this crisis, especially in that area where there's just such a high density of people?
You know, Miami, the region is the 8th largest metropolitan area in the United States, and we have a huge tourism, hospitality, event industry. So our economy has been hit particularly hard. Usually under blue skies, we serve about 706,000 people, and right now we're seeing about 1 million people that are in need of our assistance. Unemployment continues to increase, and so we're setting up additional distributions. We continue to support our network of partner agencies. 40% of them are closed right now. So we're creating an additional about 130 distributions per week. Just to give you an idea of the increase, we've distributed about 9 million pounds of food over the last 3 weeks, and the same 3 weeks last year at this time, we provided 5.5 million pounds of food, so almost double.
That's incredible, almost double. Well, first, thank you so much for the job you guys are doing. And we're seeing photos of the long lines from your area in South Florida. Sorry. When did you first see an increase in visitors to the food bank? Was it more recently or when the pandemic originally started a few weeks ago?
Right around March 12th, 13th, that time frame when the schools closed. I think that was something that hit home for people, realizing that kids were going to be without breakfast and lunch at school. And then the congregate meal sites for older adults started closing, and people began to wonder how they were going to get food to their homebound grandparents or parents. And since then, with the announcement of additional closures, it's just been getting progressively larger each week.
So you mentioned, some people are coming in for their, grandparents. Tell us about some of the people that you've been seeing. What are some of the stories that you've been hearing?
It's heartbreaking seeing people come through the line that have never relied on food assistance before. Some people are crying, they're asking for jobs. They don't know how long this is going to last. They're dipping into savings. 80% of Americans prior to this were living paycheck to paycheck, and we're just one emergency away from needing a food bank support. And we're definitely seeing that right now. There are definitely people that are incredibly grateful. There's little kids coming through the line with cards that say thank you. People are in good spirits, and we're just seeing all kinds of emotions across the board.
How hard has it been, Sari, to keep the shelves full, and how dire is the need for food banks across the country?
The need is dire. Really, food banks are kind of the hospitals of the healthcare industry. We are powering the community's food supply right now. Our retail store donations are down to about 25%. With panic buying and empty shelves in the retail stores, that's less donations for us. Right now, we are seeing a produce glut, but that will go away in the next few weeks. We will have to purchase food. Our cost of operating will triple. We'll need to hire additional staff, additional fleet, warehouse space to handle the increased food that we are going to have to purchase and that we will receive from the Department of Agriculture.
The sad reality here is every community is dealing with this across the country. Of course, we're in the midst of Passover, heading into Easter this weekend, two holidays that would traditionally be celebrated with food and family gatherings. How can people at home help their local food banks right now in their community?
We know everyone's been hit hard by this, but to the extent that people can donate, they can donate online. For every dollar donated to us, we can provide 7 meals. And you're absolutely right. Times of holidays, everything relies around food, whether it's a birthday, a funeral, a happy time, a sad time. People come together and it's all around food. So without that, it's a tough time for families. So people can visit feedingsouthflorida.org. They can make a donation. And then if people are local, we are in need of volunteers. We are practicing social distancing policies following CDC protocols.
Okay, great information there. Thank you so much, Sari Vatsky, Executive Vice President of Feeding South Florida. Again, thank you for everything you and the other volunteers are doing.